Good morning. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am Glennis Peterson, your service leader for today. And when I'm up here talking to you through the camera, I try to picture all of you sitting there in front of me, all together. And I strain to hear you respond, good morning. But for now, we can pick up the phone and call other members of our loving community just to check in. Our speaker this week is Donna Smith. She will be available on Zoom for an after-sermon discussion. Every Sunday, the sign-in time is 11:15, and the conversation will start at 11:30. In addition to services and discussion, our channel includes meditations and interviews. As always, we are in deep gratitude to Michael Wheeler and Lucy Swingham for all of their work in producing these videos every week. For the gift of this day, and for our community of spiritual nurture and compassion, we give thanks. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith. May our many sparks meet and merge in communion of heart and soul. Our opening words this morning are from Eknath Easwaran. The key to healing our environment, our relationships, and ourselves is a change of heart. With that change of heart comes a richer understanding and appreciation for the earth, for the people we live with, and for our own deepest self. Such a transformation is a gradual daily unfolding in which we discover the joy of loving, even as we face the difficult process of changing ourselves and the world. When we refrain from habits that harm others, when we take up jobs that relieve suffering, when we work to put an end to anger and separateness, we strengthen the whole. Nothing is more important in life than learning to express this unity in all our relationships. Now, for those who don't know her, I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Donna Smith. After retiring in 2009 from her work of many years as a CPA, Donna became a Unity Worldwide Ministry spiritual leader. She focused her ministerial training on pastoral care. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader, and a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles, and a student and teacher in the Way of Mastery. She was the minister for Unity of Roseburg from 2009 to 2013. She now speaks regularly at the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Church and Unity of Roseburg, and occasionally at the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. She offers compassionate services and spiritual counseling at UUUC, and is active in our Cares and Concerns ministry. Her heart is most joyful when she can help others find peace and joy in their lives.
Good morning, my UU friends. And as Glenna said earlier, I'm going to envision you all sitting out there. I'm seeing your beautiful faces, your bright smiles, and just feeling your beautiful energy. And I'm just hoping that soon that can actually be the case. So my message today is, your life is your message. Get in, sit down, and shut up. Unless you have a hemorrhoid, get off my, and I'm going to change that word to derriere. Gun control means using both hands. These are just some of the stickers that I was viewing on the back of a car when I was on the road the other day. Now, I couldn't remember all of them when I finally had a chance to stop and start writing them down, but I did remember those. However, on the bumper of this car was another sticker. Jesus is my best friend. Same car. Now, I know what I felt when seeing and reading all of this. So how are you feeling right now about the messages this man was giving the world? Now, given that this is all the information we have about this person, let's ask ourselves some questions. Do you know what this person's message to the world is? Are you confused about what his message might be? Would you feel inspired by this person? Would you feel intimidated by this person? Would you feel comfortable with this person? And do you feel that this person might be confused about what Jesus' teachings were? I would. And I think this is one guy who Bill Engvall would see and say, here's your sign, don't you think? So messages on the back of a car are only one way that we express to others about how we feel about the world and about ourselves. So we express to the world what we believe through our thoughts and our words and our actions. Another true story. A man was speeding down the highway, weaving in and out of traffic, honking at cars to get out of the way. He was on his way to a peace rally. Here's your sign. Once, while Mahatma Gandhi's train was pulling slowly out of the station, a European reporter ran up to him at his compartment window, and he said, "Do you have a message I can take back to my people?" It was Gandhi's day of silence, a vital respite from his demanding schedule. So he didn't reply. Instead, he scrawled a few words on a scrap of paper and passed it to the reporter. My life is my message. I think there are two very important questions each of us should ask ourselves. What is my message I desire to give to the world? And is this the message that I am actually giving to the world? Now, these may seem like very simple questions. However, I ask that you ask yourself these questions and be very honest with yourself when you answer them. You're only answering them to yourself. So you don't have to answer these questions to anyone else, just you. However, Everyone else will probably already know your message by the things that you do, by the words that you speak, by your gestures and your demeanor, and by the signs you put on your car. Yes. However, if the signs on your car are anything like the ones I just shared with you, people will be very confused about what your message is. So to answer these questions truly does take a lot of thought, honesty, and responsibility. Now, it may not be easy to know what you desire your message to be, but you may start by asking yourself, do I want my message to come from love or fear? In other words, don't mess with me, or how can I help you? So I hope you choose to come from love. For if you are coming from fear, your message will not be life-enhancing for you or anyone else. Because there's so much fear in our world. Rather than supporting the rest of life, human beings often seem to be at odds with it. And this has to change, or suffering will continue. So the choice to come from love or fear is a very, very important choice. As Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And I think that should be everyone's mantra. I think you should wake up with it. I think you should speak it through the day and go to bed reminding yourself of it. Because if that was true, indeed, the world would change. So how do we do that? How do we make our life express our message? Well, Eknath Easwaran, in his book, Your Life is Your Message, gives us great guidance. He says, start with yourself. Find harmony within yourself. Easwaran says, the only way to influence people for the better, your family, your friends, your club, your class, your clinic, your society, even your enemies, is through your personal example. What affects our personal example and gets in the way is our ego and coming from fear. I can't show love to an enemy. He would think I am weak. But truly, you are weak when you are coming from fear. The forces of anger, greed, and fear have the power to devastate the mind, despoil the earth, and destroy human beings. These are the forces that must be brought forward, dealt with in a way that does not harm anyone or anything, and then released. Releasing the fear and all that stems from fear will bring great harmony within. You are strong when you have the courage to express your message of love and compassion. Besides, when you express love and understanding to an enemy, the enemy doesn't know what to do because the enemy expects retaliation. So showing love and compassion stops them in their path. And it is also the beginning of healing and reconciliation. As Eknath says, the most powerful way to transform people is not through violence or punishment or sanctions, but through patient personal example. Every one of us has a role to play in the great task, right in our own home, in our communities, in our society. It doesn't require speaking or writing or political skills. It requires ideals and the desire to live by those ideals. So how do we find harmony within ourselves? Well, firstly, we must be willing to grow. How we have been doing things has served us in the past. Some of it may still serve us. But to grow, we must be willing to change if change is needed. And right now, our world is showing us that change is very much needed. Develop open-mindedness, a willingness to listen. We're not very good at listening. Slow down a little and be kind. Eric Butterworth, Unity minister, said, if you can't say anything kind, don't say anything at all. The world is dynamic, it is not static. And now let's take a lesson from a snake. A snake must shed its old skin in order to grow. Secondly, go within to find your wisdom. Your wisdom is not outside of you, it is always within you. Eknath was the great meditator, and he highly recommends meditation. Now, there are many ways to meditate. You don't have to do it the way he did it, 3 or 4 times a day for an hour, but you must somehow find a way into the silence of your inner being, for that's where you find everything. Eknath says that yes, it is possible to travel slowly but surely into the depths of the unconscious and therefore transform our personality. We can actually make a new person of ourselves. We can become the kind of person we dream of being. He says, Meister Eckhart calls this the pauper becoming the prince. And thirdly, express your harmony to the world. So once you find the harmony within yourself, it's really quite easy to express it out into the world and to others and all that are around you, and actually all forms of life. It will all come naturally as it comes from within you. I find that caring about others makes me healthier and happier. And when I help others find happiness in their lives, I benefit greatly, and so does the world. So when you are in alignment with your divine thoughts, your words, your actions, and your wisdom, the needed changes will flow like an unimpeded river. It is a very, very smooth sailing job when you can do that. Your message must be based on your ideals and your passion. Everyone comes into this world with their own abilities, their unique gifts, and their passions. So don't let anyone get in your way in expressing yours, for there are a lot of naysayers out there. And my advice is just to ignore it. Just ignore it. Following the passions of the heart is what creates the avenues for expressing your gifts and your message. And we are seeing that around the world now. You know, we don't really get that in the news media, but if you look, you will see it happening all over, because people know that expressing love is a lot more important than material things. Now, here's a story about expressing your gifts and passion. Alonzo Clemens is what they call an acquired savant. When he was 3 years old, he fell and hurt his head. Before that, he was the typical 3-year-old, playing and doing things that a 3-year-old would do. After his fall, he stopped doing all of these things that a typical 3-year-old would do, and he began to sculpt. He found anything he could use to sculpt. His mom said all of her soap would find his form as some kind of animal. He even used lard. He could not stop sculpting animals. He had a strong affinity for animals. It was difficult for him and his mother, so at age 10, Alonzo was moved to an institution. The institution was trying very hard to make him go back to the typical behavior. They wanted him to learn to comb his hair and brush his teeth, etc., on his own. So they took all of his clay away to force him to do what they wanted him to do. 2 weeks later, they came into his room and found under his bed many tiny little animals that he had created from the tar that he had scraped from between the sidewalks when he was outside. These sculptures were all anatomically correct. They found that he had a photographic memory and that he could sculpt the animals he saw without the need to have them in front of him or have a picture of them. And he would produce a sculpture in 10 minutes. He has created hundreds and hundreds of these beautiful sculptures. His only focus was to give what he knew to give, and from that, the world took care of him through his beautiful sculptures. Alonzo has no worries. He is being and doing his God-given truth. He now has a wonderful caretaker who helps him with his needs. She cooks and cleans for him and takes him shopping. And she allows him to be who he is. Alonzo is 63 years old, and he lives in Boulder, Colorado. He expresses who he is and gives his gift naturally, and he did not allow anyone to take that away. He found a way. He found the tar in the cracks of the cement. One other story. There was a baby born with no eyes and severely handicapped. He could not walk. His parents gave him up. One woman took him in, and when he was old enough, she actually tied him around her waist from his waist and would walk around to help him learn how to walk. And he did learn how to walk. One morning, she woke up to this beautiful piano music. When she went downstairs, she found it was this boy playing this beautiful music. He had no lessons. He had no eyes. This music was within him, and it finally came out into the world. So this beautiful person could express his gifts and his message to the world. And this is what we are each called to do: express our passions, our gifts, our messages without fail, without allowing anyone to stop us. Just be and do it. We can all find the tar in the cracks of the cement if we put our minds to it. When you decide what your ideals are and your message and your passions and your gifts are, and you share them with the world, wow. I mean, the world is going to be not only amazed, but indeed so much better. Now, it might take some bravery, but you know, we all have that. We all have that. So let your message flow out into the world by the way that you live your life, with strength, with courage, conviction, love, compassion. And the world will know who you are, and you will be a personal example that shines. In fact, you will be the change you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi encouraged us to. So I want to share a quote from Marianne Williamson. I know you've heard it before, but it is an important quote, just like the others I have shared with you this morning, which I know you've also heard before. But you know, humans just seem to need to be reminded occasionally, actually quite often. But that's okay, we learn. Marianne's quote: "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's how powerful we are. Isn't that beautiful? I love this. So while we can grow through suffering, we can actually grow faster through peace. And our peacefulness inspires others in ways that suffering cannot. We are in this world together. Each one of us is an intricate part of the universe. The universe cannot exist without each and every one of us. That's the oneness of our being. The conservation biologists call the elephant a keystone species. Just as an arch cannot stand without its keystone, Many other species, and sometimes entire ecosystems, would be lost without the elephant. On the African savanna, the elephant's foraging creates a mixture of woodlands and grasslands, making the savanna hospitable to many more creatures, from the zebra to the giraffe to the baboon. In drier climates, it provides water not only for itself, but for all the other species by creating new water holes and even digging wells. Because of the elephant, a huge, hungry animal with gentle habits, the entire ecosystem flourishes. Human beings are meant for no less a role. Today, because of our skills and technology, human society has assumed the position of keystone in the vast, delicately balanced arch of nature. Like the elephants in the forest, our lives affect all the other creatures, plants, and elements around us. They all depend on us for support and protection. So I hope that you can see that it is vital that we develop our ideals and our messages, and we express those ideals and messages that support ourselves and all the other life forms in this world. So your life is your message. What will that message be? So I'd like to invite you now to join me in meditation. Get comfortable wherever you are, and ask your body to relax from the top of your head to the ends of your toes. Your body loves to do this. Just ask it, and it will tell you. So just breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Close your eyes. Think of someone or something that brings feelings of joy, peace, and appreciation into your heart. Just be with and enjoy these feelings for a moment. You are experiencing the love and wisdom of your heart and brain working together for your highest and best, and for the highest and best for the all that is. So as you rest here, envision a beautiful golden light flowing from above your head down into your crown chakra and slowly moving all the way into your body, filling your entire body with golden light. Feel the warmth of this light as it moves through every cell, every organ, every part of your body, melting away any and all fear, healing, relaxing, and infusing your body with golden light. Feel your chakras come alive with this golden light as your energy centers awaken to serve you. So being in your wisdom center, having a very relaxed body, feeling the divine energy flowing through you, I want you to open your mind and heart and ask yourselves these questions. What is my message that I wish to give to and leave with the world? What are my ideals that will support this message? Hold those questions in your heart as we go into the silence for a few moments. Everything you do, think, and say expresses what you think of yourself, what you think of others, and what you think of Mother Earth, our home, and what you think of other life forms. May your message be one of love, compassion, caring, and support for life. So as you bring your attention back into your space, I hope that you will find it worthwhile to think about your ideals and how you are expressing them. You are very, very important to this world, and your messages and ideals are very important to the healing of this world. So I want to thank you all for being a loving and healing presence. For I know that's in all of your hearts. I know you. And so I thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so looking forward to being together again. So let's hold that vision that it's very soon. Bye for now.
Justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll be a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build the land, my people we seek. Come build a land where sin like an ever-flowing stream.
Our closing words today are from Eknath Esweran. Ideals are not vague, abstract concepts, but living forces as real as gravity or electromagnetism. People who have the daring and determination to live out their ideals release a tremendous beneficial power into their lives, and that power will begin to transform the world they live in. Mahatma Gandhi called this practical idealism, which means that it can be practiced in every aspect of life. It doesn't call so much for great acts of heroism as for a continuing, persistent effort to transform ill will into goodwill, self-interest into compassion. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light in our hearts. With its message of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again.